What's the craziest way you confirmed your school's wildest rumor? Our janitor was secretly a genius, and nobody believed it until he solved something no one could. Our school janitor, Mr. Lund, was the kind of man people looked through like he was part of the building. He wore the same gray coveralls every day, kept a ring of keys on his belt that jingled when he walked, and carried a metal lunch pail to the boiler room at exactly 11:45 every morning. He never ate in the teacher's lounge, never talked to anyone unless something was broken. Kids would spill milk in the cafeteria and snap their fingers at him like he was a servant. He'd mop it up without a word, nod once, and walk away. The rumor started because of his hands. Someone noticed that Mr. Lund didn't have janitor hands. No calluses, no cracks. His fingers were long and precise, like a surgeon's or a pianist's. Then a sophomore named Bridget saw something she wasn't supposed to see. She'd left her jacket in the auditorium after rehearsal and went back to get it. The lights were off except for the stage lamp. Mr. Lund was sitting in the front row with a notebook, writing equations, not simple math, the kind that take up entire chalkboards in movies about NASA. Bridget told everyone the next day, and people laughed at her so hard, she stopped bringing it up. Our school had this tradition called the Gauntlet. Every year, the head of the math department, Dr. Voss, would write an unsolved problem on the whiteboard outside the main office. It stayed up the entire year. Any student or teacher could attempt it. In 11 years, nobody had ever solved it. Dr. Voss would stand by the board during passing period with his arms crossed and say, "This problem humbled a Fields Medal nominee in 2011. Don't feel bad." He had a PhD from MIT and made sure everyone knew it, wore MIT cufflinks, and had a framed diploma positioned so you couldn't miss it walking in. He was brilliant, and he needed you to know. That year's problem had been up since September. By February, every AP student, every math club member, every teacher with a math background had tried. The whiteboard had been erased and rewritten so many times the surface was permanently smudged. Then, one Monday morning, we walked in, and the board had been wiped clean. In its place, written in neat handwriting none of us recognized, was a complete solution. Every step, every proof, every line of logic. Dr. Voss was standing in front of it when I passed. His face was the color of old paper. He was reading it line by line, mouthing the steps. Someone asked who solved it. Dr. Voss didn't answer. He just kept reading. Then he pulled out his phone and took a photo. By lunch, Dr. Voss had confirmed the solution was correct, but refused to say who wrote it. Security checked the hallway camera. The footage showed Mr. Lund mopping the floor outside the main office at 5:47 a.m. He stopped, looked at the board, set his mop against the wall, picked up the marker, and wrote the solution in 9 minutes. Then he picked his mop back up and kept cleaning. When the footage circulated, Dr. Voss called Mr. Lund to his classroom after school. I know this because Bridget and I were hiding in the supply closet next door and heard everything through the wall. Dr. Voss said, "Where did you study?" Mr. Lund said, "I have a PhD in mathematics from the University of Warsaw." Dr. Voss said, "Then why are you mopping floors?" Mr. Lund said, "When I came to this country, my credentials were not recognized. I applied to 61 universities. None would hire me. I needed to feed my daughters. This school had an opening. It was not in the department I expected, but it was in a school. I am still in a school. That is enough." Then Dr. Voss said something I never expected from a man who wore MIT cufflinks to parent-teacher conferences. "Would you like to co-teach my advanced placement class?" Mr. Lund said, "I would mop the floor of any room that lets me teach." The next Monday, Mr. Lund walked into AP Calculus, wearing his gray coveralls because he didn't own anything else. Dr. Voss had bought him a dry erase marker set with his name engraved on it. He taught the first lesson on differential equations, and 32 students sat in complete silence for 50 minutes because the janitor they'd snapped their fingers at was solving problems on the board that their PhD teacher couldn't.